Hey guys, Poison Gift here. I'm doing a tutorial on how to integrate the quest map and navigation system into a pre-existing project. Now this is using the build that is being submitted to Epic at the moment, so it will be available in a couple of days. The old build is a lot more complicated to integrate, and so I've completely rewritten the system with that in mind to make it easier. So to start off with, I've got a fresh install of the survival game template version 4.14. I'm just using that because it's a more complicated project to give an idea of how easy it is. So you need to grab the version appropriate of quest map. So to do that, you would just create a new project in the launcher. I can't do that because it doesn't have the updated content. You want to navigate to the content folder, grab the quest map folder, and then you want to put it into your new project. So the easiest way I find to do that is just right click on a bit in the project, get to your content folder here, and you just paste. Shouldn't take long because it's small, like about 60 meg. So that's done. Now we can start working. So you want to jump into your pre-existing controller. So for this one we're using the survival controller, and we want to add a couple of things. So I'm just going to move away from all that because we don't care about all that logic at the moment. Okay, so first things first, click on class settings, click add, and then you want to find the quest map controller interface. So you add that to your character. That will give you this one here. All these guys are from the survival game template. You just want this one here. Don't worry about that just yet, but just keep note that it's there. We want to add in the quest map manager, which is a new component that's just used to initialize everything. We want to add in compass. So for this I'm going to add all three systems. You can now just add one or two and it will work fine. So next one is the local map, and then we want the world map. So we've got these four guys here. Now we want to start off with, we want to add the key binding for the world map. And we also want the key binding for the local map. So we're just going to use M and L for those. On M we want to go flip-flop. Now again, obviously if you're not adding the world map you wouldn't add the information for this here. So on flip-flop we want to use the quest manager, and that does set movement state. Just make that a little bit neater. Plug that into there, or we can just do it manually, so we know this one's going to be A. Go there, copy and paste that down to here for B, so it will be off. And then using world manager, hold control, we want to do toggle on and toggle off. I'll just put that all in a comment so it's a little bit neater and easier to keep track of. Toggle world map on and off. So what this does here is when you press M, it'll go through the flip-flop. Now the way flip-flops work is the first time it's run, it runs A, second time B, third time A, fourth time B. It just keeps alternating between the two. It'll go through, run the set movement state, which is in this case set to disable, so that will disable your player's movement. And then this one here, or then it will toggle the map on, and on B it will re-enable movement and toggle the map off. Now we also need to just set up a reference to self here. Plug that into both of them, doesn't matter if it's not super pretty I guess for the moment. There we go, compile and save that. Next step is for the local map manager. We also want to use a flip-flop, so we'll just copy and paste that one down there. Now we don't care about movement on the local map, so we'll just grab this one here and go toggle on, and you can probably guess what the other one's called, toggle off. Plug that into B and just comment that out, toggle local map on off. Oops. And what else do we need? We need one more, which is mouse wheel axis. And this is going to allow us to zoom in and out on the world map. So So we're going to grab this guy here. Now we don't want it to do anything if there's no change. So we want to go equals float, and if that equals 0, then we do nothing. If it equals false, then we do zoom map. Plug that one into false, and then just grab this guy and drag it over there. So run through that quickly, just make that a little bit easier to see. Okay, so when you use your mouse wheel, if there's no change, it won't do anything, but if there is a change, it will zoom map based on how much you moved it. Okay, so compile and save that. Now the next step is we need a HUD. So the survival game template doesn't have its own HUD, so I'm just going to use the quest map one. So you just jump into your game mode and set your HUD to quest map. Now I know lots of people do use the HUD and are going to have one already set up. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to jump in here, quest map HUD, and all you need to do depends on what you're making. So we need to start off with class settings. We need to add this guy, quest map HUD. So same deal as before, we just go down here, find quest map HUD, it's already added there so I can't do it. And you want to make sure you set up these guys here. So get widgets, you just plug in the widgets into it, which we've got down here. They are made in the initialize state, so you want to set up, so at the beginning you create your widgets, whichever ones you need, so compass, add to viewport, and then save as a reference. That's this guy here. Same with the local map, add to viewport, save as reference, set as hidden, and world map, add to viewport, set as reference, save as hidden. So if you use the example HUD as a guide, you should be able to set this up. So that's just to get the widgets there, and then there's also get compass, which actually gets the compass image from the compass. So you just, from your compass widget, drag off get compass, this one here. Other than that, the only other one we've got is the draw objective, which goes through and draws the objective on the screen. Now that is a reasonably complicated function, as you can see. I'm not going to go through it in detail. If you want to recreate it in your own HUD, then you can certainly do so, and it's all pretty straightforward. You can more or less just copy and paste and fix the references up. So we'll just leave that. So that's the HUD created there. And the one other thing which we forgot to do in controller is, not in quest map controller, I've got to get back to our survival game controller. Open this guy back up, and that get components I mentioned and then completely forgot about, we just drag the right components onto there. So compass, local map, and world map. And then I believe on a base level that should actually work now. So let's check that out. Now there is going to be an overlap with the survival game template HUD here. Yep, so our compass is working, our local map is showing up, and our world map is showing up. Now obviously it's still showing the other one. There's our waypoint there. So I'm just going to run over how to fix that up. Now I've already worked out the image, but I'll show you quickly how to do it. Open up the map you're working on. So that's this one here. And that's probably not the easiest way to do it. If we just go to top down and lit mode. Now this is how I made the map. I just took a high-res screenshot, so using this one I actually highlighted that to make it a bit easier, or did I? No, I didn't, sorry, my bad. So using the high-res screenshot mode, I took a very high resolution screenshot of the map, which came out like this guy here, and then I've obviously marked off where I want to use, copy and pasted, and got this here. Now it's still got the items in game, so when you're doing it in your game you would actually want to go through and hide those items, but as you can see this does let us get in reasonably close before it starts to distort. So this isn't perfect. You would spend a lot more time getting it working. You might do a stylized version, so you could do something like, oh, anyway, you can do your own drawn map, however you want to do it. We then want to import that in to our game, so we'll just chuck it in here. Shouldn't take too long, it's only about 7 meg or something here. So then what we need to do, I'm just going to reset this back to perspective so it looks a bit nicer. Then what we need to do is jump into the quest map folder, go to materials and go to UI, and there's this one here called MI world map, and we just want to change that, so it's called tutorial, there we go, QM tutorial SG map. So it changes that there, save, and then finally jump back into our wrong controller, jump back into the SGT controller, and we need to set one setting for everything to work properly off the bat, which is the world dimensions here. Now I know this is 10,000 by 10,000, and the way I know that is if you look at where I've cut this up, just here, this actually coincides with that there, which is the light map propagation volume, I think. It's one of the volumes, navigation mesh. So if I jump to the navigation mesh, I can see that that's actually 10,000 by 10,000. So that's how I've defined my world dimensions, is by using that. And now there is just one other thing I forgot to do, guys, which is I forgot to label the ground at the terrain as ground. So if you just click on the your terrain or your ground or whatever it is you're using as the ground in your level. Now this isn't essential, as long as your world exists above 0 on the origin it will still work anyway, but this gives you a bit more control. You can just click on your terrain, come down here to actors. This will normally look like, come on, rebuild navigation, normally look like this guy here. Click expand, add a tag, it's going to do that stupid rebuilding navigation again, and you just add the tag ground. And so what that does, when you click on the map, it looks for something labeled ground to use the height level. So if we click play, we're now standing here, you can see we're in the right spot. If we go over to this chest over here, or even if we set a waypoint, waypoint's here and we're at the chest. If we go back into here, you can see we're standing at the chest. So now let's give us a waypoint of the lake down here. You can see the waypoints there. Now you can edit all the waypoint stuff easily enough in the materials, but you can see we're at the lake and there we are there. So I hope that's helped, guys. The update should be out within a couple of days. It's just really in Epic's hands now. Thanks for watching, and leave any feedback and so on in the comments below.